WFYI podcast brought to you by Bloomington, Indiana, an American college town offering food and drink, college sports, outdoor activities, live music, cool art, and good times daily. Everyone is welcome in Bloomington. More information at visitbloomington.com.
I'm Kyle Long, host of Cultural Manifesto, just one of the local music programs you can enjoy on WFYI. These programs would not be possible without your financial support. And to say thank you, we want to send you to see Lyle Lovett when he comes to Indianapolis on July 28th. Choose a concert ticket as your gift when you donate at wfyi.org/give. And thanks for supporting WFYI.
This is WFYI News Now. It's May 20th, and I'm Abriana Herron. On today's show, what we can see in Indiana's presidential primary results. The number of overdose deaths in the state has gone down in the last year. And there's been a lot of development in the town of Speedway over the past decade. We've got a conversation with the town's economic development director about what's changed.
There's been dedication, there's been resources, there's been, collaboration, not only internally in the town, but with the town and Indianapolis and the state.
Those stories coming up. But first, a new program that offers free Pacer Bikeshare rides has proven popular. WFYI's Jill Sheridan reports.
Since it was announced last week, nearly 8,000 people have signed up for bike ride passes. With the pass, local residents get unlimited 30-minute rides on Pacers Bikeshare e-bikes or classic bikes, which are scattered around the city. A fee is charged after the first 30 minutes. The Indy Rides Free program is working to approve requests through a two-step process. Marion County residency needs to be established, then an access code is sent by mail. Indianapolis is the first U.S. city to offer free bike share annual passes to all county residents. I'm Jill Sheridan.
While former President Donald Trump easily won Indiana's Republican primary, Nikki Haley garnered about 22% of the vote. That's despite the fact she dropped out of the race 2 months earlier before Hoosiers started voting. Still, political scientist Laura Merrifield Wilson cautions against reading too much into those results.
This could be at least in part a result of the crossover voting. Democrats who looked at the Democratic ballot and saw the race for Senate, but otherwise no real incentive to necessarily vote in their primary, and instead took the Republican ballot.
Haley did best in Indianapolis and its northern suburbs, areas where Democrats are hoping to capitalize in the fall in races further down the ballot.
For the Democratic Party, and certainly those Democratic candidates, it does provide maybe a sense of hope and opportunity that this isn't necessarily die-hard Trump country.
Wilson says the primary results will have no effect on the presidential race in Indiana, where Trump is almost guaranteed to win easily. The rate of drug overdose deaths in the country decreased by about 3% in 2023, marking the first annual decrease since 2018. As Indiana Public Broadcasting's Abigail Ruman reports, provisional data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention shows the number of overdose deaths in Indiana decreased from 2022 to 2023.
The number of overdose deaths in Indiana decreased by about 18%, which is the second largest decrease in the country. It was one of only 4 states to show a decrease over 15%, 3 of which are in the Midwest. Surrounding states also saw fewer deaths. Overdose deaths in Ohio and Illinois decreased by about 8%, and deaths in Michigan decreased by about 3%. Nationally, deaths from synthetic opioids, such as fentanyl, decreased, and deaths from cocaine and psychostimulants, such as methamphetamines, increased. The CDC says the data is provisional and subject to change. For Indiana Public Broadcasting, I'm Abigail Ruman.
And for our final story today, there's been a lot of development in the town of Speedway over the past decade. To learn about some of the successes and challenges Speedway has seen in that time, WFYI's Jill Sheridan sat down with Carmen Lethig, the town's new economic development director.
15 years ago, Main Street was just a shadow of what it is today. What do you feel when you walk down that street today?
I've heard some jokes from those folks and people who lived there a long time that there literally used to be tumbleweeds that, went down the street. So you're right. There's been a lot of progress. I think when I walk down Main Street, first of all, I'm super happy to be there. I've only been there about 2 months, but I'm really excited to be part of the continuing progress in town. There's been so many positive projects that have happened and developed over the past couple of years by, my predecessors, the town councilors, and other partners that have really just worked to create an environment that's conducive to redeveloping Main Street and other parts of Speedway.
So what excites you about the next steps in the Town of Speedway? There's a lot of opportunity.
Obviously, it's very unique in a few different ways. It's got the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's got some national and worldwide corporations that are, located in the town. But it has challenges just like any other community. Talking about housing, how do we have a variety of types of housing to support residents? How do we support business retention and attraction? How do we continue thinking about connectivity and being able to have different modes of transportation, such as walking and biking? And the Redevelopment Commission has ownership of some sites. And so to be able to think about the opportunities that we have in building the community.
There is better connectivity today. I know they've been working on, some trail projects for a very long time that are now coming to fruition.
Yeah. So they have the B&O Trail now, and that traverses throughout town on the, southern edge. It's really cool. It goes right through Main Street, and it connects to the beautiful Leonard Park. And there's also the P&E Trail, which is on, the other side of Main Street. The town did get a grant from the Indianapolis MPO last year to improve some pedestrian crosswalks on Crawfordsville Road down on the western side where the retail is, to improve walkability, both in safety and connectivity for our residents.
And in recent years, there have been other large infrastructure projects, off the highway. I'm thinking of the large roundabout right in front of the Speedway. How do those play into, development decisions?
I think in a couple different ways. I think, one, it shows that, there's been dedication, there's been resources, there's been, collaboration, not only internally in the town, but with the town and, Indianapolis and the state, and, showing that there's just a lot of interest in continuously improving the town itself. So, yeah, you mentioned, some of the improvements in the infrastructure down on Crawfordsville Road near the interstate. It's absolutely beautiful now. We recently just put in a gateway sign. If you continued east on Crawfordsville Road, you do come to that roundabout, which I'm told is the largest roundabout in the state.
The elephant at the roundabout is a large hotel project that did not come to fruition. That project will not move forward as originally planned. Is that correct?
Well, I can't speak too much to the details or speculate on what's going to happen in the future. There is a pending lawsuit, which the town is not part of. However, all I can say is that, I think we all started with the best intentions on trying to, put something at that very high profile intersection. We do continue to have regular meetings about it and to get updates on the lawsuit. It is not a project that we're forgetting about, just trying to figure out, what can happen there in the future.
Thank you so much for coming in to chat today.
Yeah, thank you.
That's all for today's episode of WFYI News Now. Our podcast is produced by the following people who live in your community: Drew Daudelin, Kendall Antron, who composed the music for this podcast, and me, Abriana Herron. Our news director is Sarah Neal-Estes. If you like today's episode, remember to subscribe and share, and follow WFYI on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube to check in on our newsroom throughout the day. Thanks for listening. We'll be back tomorrow.
WFYI podcast brought to you by Bloomington, Indiana, an American college town offering food and drink, college sports, outdoor activities, live music, cool art, and good times daily. Everyone is welcome in Bloomington. More information at visitbloomington.com.